Orion was a fun kid growing up. He was real active. And when he first started playing football, well, wanted to play football, I told him, I said, "Do you sure you want to do this?" And he was like, "Yeah, Dad, I want to do this."
Going into, I think it was my 5th grade year, I started playing Metro Youth League football. I really started to fall in love with it because it gave me something that I just didn't have, which was that relationship and that bond with my peers.
You could just see it. He just had that glow, in his eyes that, he really loved football.
Just trying to get to work, get from work, get to practice, pick him up. It was a struggle, but we got it done.
My parents, through the struggles and stuff that we were going through financially, as well as just like me playing sports and them working, and that was kind of hard for me because there would be times where like I'd go to a tournament, I wouldn't be with my parents, but they would always still show their love, show their support from far away. My love and faith for the game grew even more immense because it showed, regardless of my parents not being there, they're still giving me what I need. They're still showing the support that I need to pursue my dreams and my goals.
He was on a traveling team, and it was like, they can't stop him.
My first 2 years, high school were kind of a struggle when it came to schooling. I really had poor grades.
I didn't really know him super well until maybe his sophomore year of high school when he was starting to get some looks from some football programs.
The first question I asked Carla was, "Hey, do you think this guy is worth it?" And she said, "Absolutely, he's worth it. And I'll do anything I can to help him, to motivate him, and to be really your eyes and ears here."
Teachers liked him, students liked him. He was always smiling in the hallway, was nice to everybody. I said, I think that we can make this work academically if he's willing to work hard. Yeah, absolutely, he was worth it. And I wanted to help him make his dreams come true.
She really put the foot on the gas of if you are gonna do what it is that you need to do, you need to understand that school is the main priority, as well as your parents have given way too much for me to let them down. The tag team between her and Coach Vite was the strongest I've ever seen, because there would be days where as soon as I get to school, first thing she would do is check up on me and make sure what I was doing, but then midday I get a call from Coach Vite. "What are you doing? Are you in class? Have you finished your homework?" And they were constantly on me and they would not let it up.
Orion occasionally called me the warden, but I think I was pretty nice to him given the circumstances. But we would have conversations about what it was going to be like when he got to Iowa State and why it was all going to be worth it.
But Carla, she said, "Jennifer, I'm gonna get him there." And so we talked and talked and talked, and she was just so passionate about it. And then when I would get calls from Coach Vite, it would just, my spirit would just be lifted because I know, they're trying to help him.
I think the one thing myself and Coach Vite saw from day one is this young man that was not only a great football player, but just he had such a spirit about himself. We really stuck by him every step of the way through the recruiting process.
I would have more talks with Ryan. "You can get this. You can do this." And he's like, "Mom, I'm gonna get it." And he got it.
The first time that he got an A on a test in high school, the smile on that kid's face, I mean, for somebody who said that he didn't care about school.
My grades, my last 2 semesters were on point, and through that they allowed me to pass the clearinghouse and be able to be eligible when it came to signing my letters of intent.
His beginning journey here at Iowa State, and this is when we start the transformational piece of it. It didn't start off great.
Moving into Iowa State and trying to get used to everything was the most hectic first semester that I've ever dealt with in my life. And I kind of regressed into how I was my freshman year at high school, where I wasn't doing homework.
I would try to reach out to him every week and ask him how classes were going, and he always told me everything was good.
Every time I was asked, "Hey, how are you doing? Are you doing good at school?" All this, I was coming up with stuff, so then therefore I wasn't giving out the full truth, and it got to the point where I was just in a dark hole, dark space that I felt like I was never going to be able to get out of.
I know there were some strong conversations between myself and him, and Coach Veit himself, just of aligning himself to having true success here. And that success wasn't about the football field, because he was beginning to do some really positive things on the football field.
I think really at that time it was more of, hey, do you understand all the work you did to this point to get here? And everything we talked about to this point was academics, the importance of that. You're going to be the first in your family to have this opportunity. And now look where we are, and this was nothing that we talked about the whole way through.
I think that was kind of the line in the sand for him is, man, here you can either go one way or another, and how will you respond?
They asked me, what did I really want? And was I just here to be on the team, or was I here to, you know, just kind of coast through? And for me, it kind of like hurt for a long time, because my parents, they sacrificed so much just for me to be in the spot. And I felt like I had to change. And I told Coach Campbell and Coach Veit, I was like, this will be the greatest comeback that you ever see. And sure enough, after that year, my grades from that point on have always been above a 3.0.
Now he sends me a screenshot of his grades. He's, I think, now really proud of how he's done academically, because it was a huge turnaround for him.
I'm just so thankful that, you know, Coach Campbell and Coach Veit believed in him, and so proud of Ryan, because at one point I thought I was going to lose him. At one point I was like, oh, he going to give up. But knowing that, you know, where he come from and what we have taught him, I knew that he was going to, you know, he was going to pull through. He was going to pull through. Yes, he did.
I don't know if I've ever seen a young man make such a drastic change.
Through that, it also elevated my game. It gave me a different perspective of what the game is and how I should treat football. I have to treat it as school. I gotta watch film. I gotta get extra work in. I gotta ask my peers, what do they think? What are their ideas? How do they look at things? I gotta communicate with people better. Even throughout just my day-to-day operations, I could feel like whenever I woke up, just like a little boost. I get a chance to work on myself. I get a chance to be better. I get a chance to make the choices that I think will better improve myself as an individual. By doing that, the future will unfold for itself, and it will be what I always wanted it to be.
You go through a year before where everybody's making a transactional decision. Hey, I'm coming back because the National Football League, or I'm coming back to help my draft stock. Where Orion's conversation was really simple is, man, I'm coming back to leave this place better than I found it. I'm coming back because I want to lead the locker room, and I want to show the young guys in this program what it means to play here at Iowa State.
Once you establish family, it's hard to leave family. It's just like your family at home. You know, hey, I know these guys, I started with these guys, I'm gonna end this with these guys.
And I said, wait a minute, before you say anything, it's your decision of what you do. I'm behind you. You know, it's not about fame, money, none of that. It's about what you do to accomplish what you came for. And he was like, I think I want to stay again. I said, good, because I love it there.
Coach Campbell kind of uses my story as like an example to all the young guys, because like some people think, oh, I'm gonna get here, like I'm gonna be great at football, and then I'm go to the league. But they don't tell you that no one's here to wake you up in the morning. No one's here to tell you you got homework due. Like everything is up to you. Like you make the decisions, you make the choices of what's gonna make you better. It's okay to talk to someone. It's okay to like ask questions, and like you don't have to feel like you know everything, because for the most part, no one knows everything. And if you can actually understand that and realize that like you're not the smartest person in the room sometimes, it'll benefit you later on. And I feel like for the most part, these young guys, they see that and they realize that like you're gonna need help. And once you take that help, therefore it translates into your teammates, developing that relationship, that chemistry, and all of that love. And I feel like it's been one thing that I probably I love the most out of it.
Now, as a 6-year senior in our program, and you walk through that locker room every day, and there's not a more well-respected football player and a more respected man in our locker room than Orien Vance, and I think it's really powerful.